Okay, so now let's learn how to reconstitute some solutions. This is important, especially when we're looking at feedings. We usually do partial strength feedings, or you may do partial strength in like wound irrigations, stuff like that. So we have to be able to figure out what strengths we're going to do. You'll also see this sometimes on your IV fluids. So our basics, you have to know the terms. The solute is the concentrated med. Or I like the easiest way I can remember it is like orange juice, the concentrated frozen orange juice. So that concentrated orange juice is your solute. Your solvent is what you dilute it with, or your water, because you're going to add water to that concentrated orange juice. And then your solution is what you end up with in the end, which is your finished product. So our formula is that we're going to take our desired strength, what we want to end up with, times the amount of solution that we want. So our desired strength times what we have, and that's going to tell us how much solute we need to add to that solution to get the strength. So then we're going to take that solution and we're going to subtract the solute that we just figured out, and that's going to tell us the amount of solvent needed. So when we put this in problems, it makes a little more sense. Here's an example of how to reconstitute. Your order reads that you want a third strength Ensure in 900 mils of water. So how are we going to mix it? So we want a third strength. So we're going to multiply that by our total, what we want to end up with. So then it tells us when we multiply 1/3 times 900 that we need 300 milliliters of Ensure. That's the concentrated Ensure. So if we want 900 milliliters altogether, we take out the 300 of the concentrated, then we need to add 600 milliliters of water. So we add the 600 mils of water with the 300 mils of Ensure, and we end up with the 1/3 strength. So let's try to figure this out in some so that it'll be a little bit easier. Don't get caught up on the terminology as long as you know exactly what it is that you're putting in there. So here we want 2/3 strength Sustacal and 300 mils of fluid. So we're going to start off with our 2/3 strength and our total, our 300 milliliters. Okay, it is cross multiplication of a fraction, which we've been doing all along, so it's not a big deal. You can do this either way. You could take the 3 right in and cross multiply that and make that top number 100. If you want to work it all the way out, you can. So the 2 times the 300 would be 600 divided by 3. And so when you take 600 and you divide that by 3, you get 200. So we're going to add 200 mils of Sustacal This is going to be our concentrate. So we want 300 mils altogether. So if we take our 300 mil total and we subtract the concentrate that we're going to put in it, then we know that we're going to have 100 mils of water. So if we put 200 mils of Sustacal and 100 mils of water, then we'll end up with 2/3 strength Sustacal. So let's do a different one. Here we want 3/4 strength peroxided normal saline to make 480 mils. This is an irrigation solution. So we want 3/4 strength, and we've got 480 ml solution. So when we do our math, we're going to take 3 times 480, which gives us 1,440. Divide that by 4, and you get 360 milliliters. This is your peroxide. So then we want 480 milliliters total. So we're going to subtract our 360 mils of peroxide. And so when we take 480 and we subtract 360, we get 120 mils of normal saline. So we're going to take 120 mils of normal saline, put 360 mils of peroxide, and we're going to end up with 3/4 strength peroxide in normal saline. So here's another one. It's a little bit different. I kind of threw it off a little bit. I wanted 1/4 strength peroxide in normal saline in 8 ounces of solution, total of 8 ounces. So personally, what I would do is I would take my 8 ounces and turn that into milliliters. So we know that there's 30 milliliters in an ounce. So 8 times, wow, you can't even read that. 8 times 30 gives us 240 milliliters. So that's our total, what we want overall. So then we're going to take our 1/4 strength, multiply that by our 240 milliliters. And so when we take our 240 and we divide that by 4, then we get 60 mils of peroxide. And then we want to take our 240 mils and subtract our 60 mils of peroxide, which gives us 180 milliliters of normal saline. So to get 1/4 strength peroxide in normal saline, we're going to have 60 milliliters of peroxide to 180 milliliters of normal saline.